All right, today we're going to put on our detective hats. We're on the trail of a mystery, one that's happening in a place you've probably walked past 100 times. We're about to uncover the hidden story of your local stream.
I mean, really think about that for a second. That little creek running through the park, the river on the edge of town. Yeah, it looks all peaceful on the surface, but underneath, there's this whole drama playing out. It's a story of health, of struggle, and sometimes of pollution. So what secrets are really hiding down there in the water?
You know, the key to cracking this case isn't some smoking gun or a mysterious footprint. Nope. The biggest clues, well, they're the witnesses who live there 24/7. They're tiny, they're everywhere, and man, they have a lot to say if you just know how to listen.
So, welcome to your detective training. We're going to learn how to read a stream and solve this hidden watery mystery. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to figure out how to interpret the clues these tiny little creatures are leaving behind for us.
Now here's the really brilliant part. You don't actually have to do all the hard detective work yourself because the bugs, they do it for you. We're about to meet your investigative team, and they've got a pretty cool name, Bioindicators.
So, what the heck is a bioindicator? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's any living thing, in our case, these water bugs, that acts like a living, breathing report card for the environment. Its presence, or even its absence, tells you a huge piece of the story about the health of that ecosystem.
Our bug detectives basically fall into two main groups. On one side, you've got the canaries. You know, like the canaries in a coal mine. These guys are super sensitive, so finding them is a fantastic sign. But on the other side, you've got the survivors. These are the tough ones, the critters that can handle nasty, polluted conditions. Seeing only them around? That's a major red flag.
Okay, let's start with the good guys. Let's meet the star witnesses, the sensitive species. Finding these critters is like your stream getting an A+ on its health report. They are, without a doubt, your most reliable witnesses to clean, healthy water. First up, one of the classic heroes of the stream world, the stonefly nymph. See those two distinct thin tails? That's its signature. These creatures need a ton of oxygen, which you're only going to find in clean, cool, fast-moving water. They even do this little shimmying dance to get more oxygen. If you find one of these, you are definitely on the right track.
And check out this key witness, the Stonefly larva. It's sometimes called a toe biter because of those impressive jaws. Yeah, it looks kind of prehistoric, and it's super picky. It absolutely requires fast-flowing, stony rivers to live. It is not a fan of pollution or stagnant water at all. A fantastic find for any water detective.
Now this is just amazing. Meet the caddisfly larva, a true underwater architect. It literally builds its own little protective house out of tiny pebbles, sand, or bits of twigs, gluing it all together with silk it makes itself. Think about that. This delicate, careful work is only possible in a stable, clean environment. A polluted stream just won't work for this little artist. So, when you find these sensitive witnesses, the stonefly, the dobsonfly, the caddisfly, what are they actually telling you? Well, they're testifying that there are high oxygen levels, very few nasty pollutants, and a food web that's stable and healthy. It's basically the ecological version of a 5-star review.
All right, but let's flip the coin. Not all bugs are so picky. Now we're going to meet the tough suspects, the tolerant survivors. These are the creatures that can stick around, or even take over, when the water quality starts to go downhill.
Suspect number 1 is the freshwater slater. You might know its cousin from your garden, the roly-poly or pillbug. This aquatic version is kind of flattened, slow-moving, and extremely tolerant of pollution. If you're finding a lot of these guys, and not much else, that's a pretty strong hint that something's wrong.
And here we have suspect number 2, the flatworm. It has a very simple, primitive body, and it just kind of glides slowly under rocks and leaves. Flatworms are total survivors. They can often be found in places where the more sensitive bugs have long since disappeared because the conditions got too bad.
So let's look at the evidence side by side. On the left, you've got the sensitive stonefly. See its complex legs, its delicate tails, all those distinct parts. Then on the right, the tolerant slater. So much simpler, almost like a little armored tank. That visual difference is often a clue in itself. Complexity, it turns out, often needs cleaner conditions to thrive. Okay, so we've met the witnesses and the suspects. How do we actually solve the case? Well, this right here is the most important rule of water bug detective work. It is never about finding just one bug. The real answer lies in the bigger picture, in the entire community. And I've got to repeat this because it's so important.
Finding one tough guy, like a slater, doesn't automatically mean your stream is polluted. The real, undeniable clue is in the diversity. A healthy stream is like a bustling neighborhood with tons of different residents, especially those sensitive canary species. A polluted stream? That's more like a ghost town with just a few tough survivors hanging on.
Think of this as your secret decoder key. It's simple. If you find a rich variety of those sensitive species, boom, excellent water quality. A mix of both sensitive and tolerant types, it's probably good to moderate quality. But if you're mostly or only finding the tolerant survivors, that's a clear sign of pollution. And finding almost nothing at all, well, that's the worst sign, pointing to very poor or even toxic conditions. You know, this might feel like a fun detective game, but it's also very real science. This exact method is used by environmental scientists and volunteers all over the world. Citizen science groups, like WaterWatch you see here, actually train people just like you to go out and use these bugs to keep an eye on the health of their local waterways. This really just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? A healthy stream has a rich and varied cast of characters. A polluted one has only a few tough survivors. It's like a hit TV show versus one that's been canceled, with only a couple of actors left on a bare stage.
So, there you have it. Your training is complete. You know the witnesses, you know the suspects, and you know how to read the clues. The next time you're near a stream, I want you to look at it differently. Now that you know the secrets, what story is that water telling you?